I'm guessing that this is the first train through since the incident because there's so much activity. Like the TV crew here, the local gendarme are here, and there's other vloggers here, but no other foreign YouTube vloggers. There's one of the windows of the bus. Hang on. That is the window, the windscreen of the bus. That's what. There's another fella taking photos there. I just took a photo of it there. That's the windscreen of the bus. We're at the site of the very unfortunate train incident on Pechenbury Junction here in Bangkok. It's just over 24 hours since the terrible accident occurred. But I thought I'd bring you this video just to highlight some of the dangers that this has happened just down the road from where I live. This is the junction where it happened. Again, the bus was right there. And those guys the bus was dragged down there, so they're either replacing the track. I think that's what they're doing. They're replacing the track. But I don't think there'll be any infrastructural changes here as a result of this. It would cost a fortune, an absolute fortune. And after all, this is Thai culture. This is the way Thailand is. It was right about here, just over my right shoulder. The bus was there. And the reason I'm making this video here is because I just want to highlight to you, I drive on this road at least once a week, and my wife drives straight through this junction every morning. And I just want to extend my sympathies to the victims of the incident, genuinely, because any of us living in Bangkok could be a victim of a road traffic accident at any time, and this just highlights it. I'm going to tell you about the times and the times going forward when I will be going through this junction, because it's a matter of course I do. If you want to know, if you want to get from Wig Wang to Sukhumvit, this is Asal. Asal is just up there, and one of the problems with this junction is the barrier is just over there ahead of me. Let me just move somewhere else. Hang on. So you probably can't see much, and it's probably better that you can't. They've got a crew fixing the track. They're taking up the track. It looks like they're taking up the track. Anyway, I can tell you about this junction. Up there ahead is Asal. And this road goes from a 4-lane road into a 2-laner just there after the junction, and it's a bottleneck. And what happens is you get stuck because they're coming out here on Pechenbury Road. This is Pechenbury Road here that runs at an intersection to, we're on Param Gao now, Rama 9. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it there. It's very hard at night to see what's going on, but I'll move up. Hang on. We're right at the tracks now. Can you see it? Can you see it in there? I don't know if you can. Hang on. So we're right at the tracks now. There's the tracks there. The traffic comes out here from Pechenbury Road, turning left towards Asal, and the traffic on Param Gao is going the same direction, and they're constantly coming out, and it forms a bottleneck. And what happens is, like they are here now, look, they're stuck on the tracks still. You see that green taxi? I don't know how much you can see, but that green taxi there is stuck on the tracks just where the bus was. So it's still happening. It forms a bottleneck, and the guy couldn't lower the barrier. Now I can't remember a time where I was stuck on the tracks, and I have been, but I can't remember a time I've been stuck on the tracks but the barrier came down behind me. The barriers aren't enforced tonight because the trains aren't running, obviously, but you can see it there what it is. They're stuck on the tracks, and that's what happened yesterday because of the bottleneck. And one of the things about Thailand is, hang on a second, so we're standing here a little bit away from the proceedings. One of the things about Thailand is, in my time here, something that I've come to understand, when there's a catastrophe, and there are very, very many, like anywhere else, but there's a lot here. And some would argue that Thailand roads are amongst the most dangerous in the world. Well, I would say, based on what has happened in the last 24 hours, that just highlights that it's not the first rail incident that has happened here in the last month. It's the second. But one of the things that gets me is they might have an investigation into it, but nothing ever seems to be done to rectify things. I mean, road fatalities here are amongst the highest in the world, and you've got one of the main reasons for that 70% of road fatalities is motorcycles. There were motorcyclists killed in this incident here yesterday. One of the reasons so many motorcycles make up 70% of the road fatalities is that they have more than 3 people on a motorcycle. And if you know that that's the problem that's causing the high percentage of motorcycle fatalities, what should you do? Well, you should rectify the problem. You should say no, maximum rider and pillion passenger, and that's it. But you see, they can't do that because that would kill the Thai economy. People bring their kids to school on the motorcycles. They do everything on the motorcycles, and it necessitates having more than 3 or 4 people on a motorcycle at any one time. Here's me talking about the dangers of Thai roads, and I'm standing on Rama 9 Road on the road, and there's cars coming ahead of me. But you see, they're very tolerant drivers, and that tolerance leads to blasé-ness, if you want to call it that. But there's a bottleneck there. Those flashing amber lights, that's where the level crossing was, or the railroad crossing, if you're from the States, is. And they're still stopped on it. And they'll continue to be stopped on it. And I don't think, now it's just this is me, in my experience of Thailand, I wouldn't be surprised if they fix the track and everything goes back to the way it was before the accident happened. That's just me. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just in my experience, that is what I wouldn't be surprised if that was to happen. So I've made my way to Pechenbury Station, which is just the railway. This is the MRT, this is the subway. But the actual railway is just down there, 50 metres from me. That's the level crossing. And I can tell you, I've often felt concerned, this is my opinion, this is just me, not only about driving through that level crossing, which I've done 100 times, and I've been stopped on the rails 100 times, and it's crossed my mind 100 times of what has happened there. But not only that, but when I first started taking the MRT in Bangkok, they would scan you with a metal scanner or whatever it is. You went through a body scanner. In some places they have them, but in Wig Wang, where I got on to take the MRT, they don't have them anymore. And it's just always in the back of my mind. And the thing about it is, when you drive here, or if you're a road user here, and you're always going to be a road user here, be it a cyclist, pedestrian, a motorcyclist, or a car driver, you take a bus, you take a taxi, a motorcycle taxi, you're a road user, you can't avoid it. You're a road user here, you're at high risk, very high risk of being involved in a road fatality in Thailand for no other reason than they've got one of the highest rates of road fatalities in the world, and this just proves it. And that's not a criticism of Thailand. Thailand has a character all to itself, and if Thailand changes to any degree, it will lose some degree of its character. But that's not to say that we should be blasé. I love Thailand. I love Thai people. My son is Thai, my wife is Thai. I'm not saying that we should be blasé when it comes to people's safety, just to maintain the culture. But surely to God, something should give now, after 8 people have unfortunately lost their lives and up to 23 people injured. I mean, it's absolute. And by the way, there's a video on YouTube of the actual incident itself. I'm not going to show it. I'm not here trying to curry favour from a viewership because I'm making a video about what happened here. No. And if you think that I'm trying to make it's going to benefit me that I'm making a video here. What about all the news channels? What are they doing it for? They're doing it for money. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this purely and simply to highlight the dangers of being a road user in Thailand, especially in Bangkok. I'm going to get the MRT back home. We shall reconvene. Because it's 9:15 now, and I've got stuff to do in the morning, like bring my son to school. So it's going to be a couple of seconds for you, with a split second for you. It's going to be a little while for me, but we shall reconvene. But just mull on this issue. Just mull on this issue, on this point, that when anything happens to an airliner or whatever it may be, that fleet will be grounded until they find out what the problem was, so they can rectify it and it won't happen again. I guarantee you this. I will be surprised if anything changes as a result of this accident. That's just me. I will be surprised. I'm not going to say I'd be surprised if it happens or doesn't. It's just me. I will be surprised. Anyway, my sympathies to all involved. I'll see you in a second. Don't go away. So, we've reconvened. It's now about 12 hours later, and I decided to come back here during the day because you can see things more clearly of how chaotic this junction is. It really is. It really was and still is an accident waiting to happen. So there's a slip road here. The traffic is merging onto the main Param Gao, or onto the main Rama 9 road, which goes down towards the Sol, down towards Sukhumvit. That's the first merge, and here's the second. There's two, is it? Yeah, 2 lanes of traffic coming out into 6 lanes which go down that way, which bottleneck, as I said last night, well, I said previously in this video, bottleneck into 2 lanes. And what that does is the traffic gets congested and stuck just where that bus is. And that bus is meters away from where the bus that was unfortunately involved in that collision with the train on Saturday. This is Tuesday morning. As I said, I decided to come back to show you more detail how chaotic this junction is and how it is still an accident waiting to happen. There's one of the windows of the bus. Hang on. There's one of the windows of what looks like the bus. It could be a train window. I doubt it. Looks like the bus window. So I'm not the only person making videos here today. That is, if you can see it down there. Hello. That is the window, the windscreen of the bus. That's what. There's another fella taking photos there. I just took a photo of it there. That's the windscreen of the bus. There's a fella behind me doing a vlog as well. Where else in the world? This is not a criticism, but you know, that's the windscreen of the bus which is involved in the accident, and it's just lying there. I would have thought that would have been a part of the investigation. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. If there's one thing about the Thais, they move fast. The track has been. Hang on. The track has been repaired, and there's people waiting on the platform. This is Monday morning. Remember, this accident happened around about 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. The track has been repaired, and there's people waiting on the platform up there. And as I said earlier in this video, it was my assumption, I presume, or I assume, that there'll be no infrastructural change to this junction as a result of this accident. Well, definitely not in the short term, because it would cost a fortune and there'd be a lot. Is that new tarmac? That looks like new tarmac. I don't think that was there before. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not open, but the ticket office behind me is open. If you can see behind me, the ticket office is open. Okay, insurance, okay. That motorcycle taxi driver just picked that up. That's the insurance disc. I won't show details. That's the insurance disc of the bus. Very, very unusual for me to be able to do that at a scene of so much carnage. There's none fell over there with the camera. They're all over the place. So I was right in the first place. The line is open again. I'm at the platform here, outbound. This is for Lat Krabang, Chachen Sao, can't pronounce that, Pattaya, and other places. So it's open. That's quick. You see, I suppose you see, commerce is commerce, business is business, you know. But it just seems to me that windscreen just lying on the side of the track. That's eerie. There's lots of guys here from the Bangkok BMTA, the Bangkok Metropolitan Transport Authority, and there's 7 News here as well. There's a guy there with a camera from the TV station. Would make my camera look like something you get in a dollar store. There's the TV crew behind me. Remember, lads, Alpha Omega occasionally gives it to you straight, and we're first off the blocks here. I don't know of any other Thailand YouTuber. I don't see any other Thailand YouTubers around here. Farang ones, that is. Still loads of activity and people looking at me. Hello. So you can see, it's still, what I wanted to do is point out the fact that nothing has changed. That's exactly where the bus was. And they're still stopping on the tracks. Obviously, the trains are running because there's people waiting on the platform. I might wait. I think they're waiting on this as well. I might wait for a train to come along and we'll see what happens. Just to be sure and to make sure I'm not waiting in vain, I'm going to ask this guy, he works for the Bangkok Metropolitan Transport Authority. I'm going to ask him, are the trains running today? There it is, that's what I have to do. I'm going to show him that. Lamb crab. Chai crab. Okay. So yeah, they are. The trains are running today. There you go. How quick is that? Just observe how blasé. I said that word a lot in this video, but how blasé these people are. I don't know why he stopped. There seems to be some kind of discussion going on. The motorcycle taxi guys are in the thick of it, as they always are. I'm still waiting for a train. Remember that song? 1980s. I wonder what's cooking in the house tonight. Stew and beans. Remember that? I'm guessing that this is the first train through since the incident because there's so much activity. Like the TV crew here, the local gendarme are here, and there's other vloggers here, but no other foreign YouTube vloggers. Here we go. I think because your man's out with his green flag. Here we go. See how they react. Barriers are down. This is a first. I've never seen it this organised ever. Which way is it going to come from? Well, I can't say categorically that that's the first train through since the accident, but you've seen the amount of activity here this morning. The measuring tape there, so I presume they're going to put some kind of other safety feature in place. I'd hope. But as I said earlier in this video, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. I just want to reiterate again that my sympathy goes to all the victims of this. It's a tragedy. And one thing I want to correct myself in, when I came here this morning on the MRT from Wig Wang, I did state last night that there was no screening. Well, they'd moved the screening. You wouldn't even notice it. It's only when you pay for your token and you go through the barrier, you're screened as you go through. So I didn't even notice it. You are screened. You are screened on the MRT. Anyway, let's reconvene. I'm feeling a bit peckish. I hope you're enjoying this video, lads. I really do. It's something a lot different than what we usually see in this channel. Wonderful Thailand, wonderful Thailand. Where else in the world could I be in the thick of it with the news reporters and other vloggers and all the rest of it, finding windscreens on the ground? Where else would you get it? So I found a bit of sanctuary. I don't know where. Well, I do know where I am. I'm in Phetchaburi MRT Mall. I don't know. It's probably not called that. And I'm about to get some pork with rice. I was going to go to the usual hump down at Wig Wang, but I decided not to be repetitive. I'm going to tell you what this tastes like. It's got one bay leaf in it. Thank God it's only one, because life's too short for bay leaves. Hang on. For those of you who are curious about my health, that's sugar-free. But I wouldn't say this is sugar-free. As I said a few weeks ago, I want to get away from the repetitiveness of this channel, if it is repetitive to any degree. The main reason I made this video, as I said earlier, is to highlight the dangers of being a road user. Hang on. The dangers of eating spicy food. Whoa. The dangers of being a road user in Thailand. Maybe they will change the layout of that junction. Maybe they will put improved barriers in place. But as it stands today, well, today it looks to me like a knee-jerk reaction. There's a lot of people there with flags and stuff like that, and people are very conscious of it. But human nature being what it is, it'll fade. The memory will fade and things will get back to normal very quickly. Okay, this is hitting the spot. We shall reconvene when I finish. That was absolutely wonderful. This is where I got it. It's some kind of pork with rice, but it was really, really nice. And if you want to know where we are, we're in the mall in the Phetchaburi MRT. That's where we are. And we're going to head home. That really hit the spot. And lads, if you think that this video hit the spot for you, let me know. I'd like to do more videos like this, more kind of up to the minute current affairs kind of stuff as well, not getting away from the drama of living as a expat married to a Thai woman in a Thai family kind of thing. But let me know what you think. I'd be really keen to know where you're looking from as well, where you're watching from. Make sure you leave that in the comment section as well. And whatever you do, lads, make sure you join me again for another wonderful video very soon. If you haven't done so already, click the like button, the share button, subscribe button. Do all those wonderful things. And I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me. This is a great place to come. Really, it's really nice. 50 baht and 20 baht for the Coke. 70 baht. How are you fixed?